Okay, we're going to do video 4. We're rolling today. This is Primero Prince, my work in progress game idea on the Italian High Renaissance, and we're just kind of doing a let's play the game together thing. And what we're going to do next is perform actions. So in the last round, we played the hand of Primero in order to gain ducats to spend on actions. In this round, we're going to do the actions. So you determine which actions are resolved by drawing a random card from the deck, shuffle the deck each time. We drew swords first, and so that means we're going to do our sword actions or our military actions on the map first. Now, the Medici only have diplomatic actions or clubs to spend, so they won't be doing anything. The Borgias have 4 mixed actions they can do and 3 military actions, so they'll be doing a lot. The Della Rovera have only cups or religious actions, so they're out. And the Sforzas will be having 3 ducats worth of actions on coins, which is building and patronage. But they also have 3 mixed, and they're probably going to want to spend their mixed on military, given the state of affairs that Milan is dealing with at the start of the game. Okay, so there are 4 options that you can do with actions when using the swords, the military actions. The first is you can buy maneuvers. Okay, each ducat you spend buys you 2 maneuvers. A maneuver, we'll show it in action, but basically it allows you to move from space to space. Clear spaces cost 1. You can move along a river or across a mountain space for 2 maneuvers. And then maneuvers will also let you control a space or fight in a space. Okay? So those are maneuvers, generally how they work. The next thing you can do is try and raise regular troops in your home. It'll be in a fortified location you control, and you can raise 1 regular troop for 1 ducat. You can also look to hire mercenaries off the mercenary board. This is kind of a mess right now. I don't have it exactly lined up. I had too much complexity in it, and I've kind of taken the complexity down by about 75%. But the general idea is the more ducats you spend, the more strength of mercenaries you're going to get. It's going to be like a variable display of hireable mercenaries each turn, which will rotate. And once a power is bought, the mercenaries, another power can't buy them, essentially. And then you can buy guns for 2 ducats to buy 1 strength point in guns. Guns are used to reduce the square fortified locations on the map. Or you can also build fortifications in a location. So there'll be situations where, let's say, this Borgia condottieri is commanding the 2 strength papal forces. And let's say they decided they're going to siege Siena with 2 strength points. They're going to have to roll, because Siena is fortified, they're going to have to roll within their strength range in order to successfully subdue it. The guns will add 2 to that range or something like that. I haven't worked it out exactly, but something along those lines. It's going to benefit sieges. Given the historical situation, guns should be super powerful, right? Because the fortifications in Italy at this time were based on older methods and hadn't come to terms with the new strength guns like the Ottomans had been deploying throughout the Balkans. And what this means is the Tres Italienne hasn't come into fashion yet. It's on its way, and it'll happen in response to the French invasions. But right now, it's essentially wide open for anybody with cannon, right? So that could be another option, is that the guns simply turn the fortified into non-fortified. Okay, so enough of that explanation, Phil. Let's do some stuff. The Pope decides who goes and in which order. So the Pope is green, and that's the Borgias, and they are going to decide to go first. They got loads to spend. So they've got 3 coin to spend on actions for military, plus another 1, 2, 3, 4 they can add. So they've got to decide what are they going to do on top of their military. So let's see how far we can get with the military first and go from there. The first thing the Borgias are going to do is going to recruit a mercenary to put with their condottieri. So the unmarked octagonal cylinders that are on the map. If it's unmarked, it represents a male family member. If it's marked, it represents a female family member. Only the male family members can be condottieri, and you need a condottieri to move any forces around the map. Otherwise, they're stuck in place. Okay, so because he's been named Gonfalonier, Caesar Borgia has access to the 2 strength points of papal troops, which is about 2,000 troops, give or take, mixed foot. But obviously he wants to be stronger than that. And what he's going to do, therefore, is recruit an Italian infantry mercenary unit, which we'll mark red here. And this is a 2 strength point unit. Okay, so he's doubled the strength of his forces. We've paid a ducat to hire these fools. There's a chance that they can still flake out, right? Because they're mercenaries, and that's what they did during this time. They either decided not to fight at all, or they got to the battlefield and decided to ask for more money. But for now, they're stacked with Caesar Borgia, and what the Borgias would like to do next is control a province. So to control a duchy. To control a duchy, you need to have a control of the majority of spaces in the duchy. Right now, Umbria, they have control of the Città di Castello. The Florentines, the Medici, have control of Arezzo, Perugia, and Foligno. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. If the Borgias can take both, then they'll have 3 spaces, and then they'll control the duchy, and then they'll get a card draw on the next turn for that. So that's going to be the goal. So to do that, they're going to need to have 2 maneuvers to either get across the mountain pass or up the Tiber River to Perugia or to Foligno. So that's going to cost 1 ducat. And then they'll need 1 to flag it and 1 to move. So they don't have sufficient maneuvers. Okay, so they decide that taking back the mercenary purchase, it's not as important as taking back the land, taking control of the lands. So they're going to spend 3 ducats all on maneuvers and spend 1 of the mixed ducats on the mercenaries. There we go. So that gives them the mercenary, which I dumped over here. Italian infantry. Stacking. Got 4 strength. He's going to try and keep them in the field, essentially. And 4 maneuvers right now. We're going to use these orange cubes to signify the maneuvers, because we're not spending them yet. We don't spend maneuvers until later. So right now they just purchase the maneuvers. Do a couple more. Okay, there we go. There's the 4 maneuvers. We'll put them on the Borgia display so that we remember they have them to use to cash in. Okay, so that's the Borgias done. They spent 4 ducats on buying 6. They should have 6 maneuvers. I'm sorry. 6 points of maneuver and recruiting a mercenary of 2 strength. Boom, bam, done. Now the Sforzas, the black, have the big bully France nearby and have their own forces up to 4 strength points of Milanese with a condottieri. Now they can't go into Bergamo right now because Bergamo is Venetian controlled, and they would have to be at war with Venice. Now there's a chance that when the leagues are formed and the invasions happen in the turn, they could go to war with Venice. So they want to keep that in mind for 2 reasons. Number 1, they could be getting attacked from Venetian territory. Number 2, they could have the opportunity to attack Venetian territory. So Venice is right next door. France is 1-2 away. The Habsburgs are near enough, and everybody wants Milan, right? So they need to be defensive in mindset and possibly have maneuvers in order to take control of land in Lombardy is going to be their primary aim. So, buying with their mixed 2 maneuvers will give them some flexibility. We'll give them the 2 maneuvered cubes there so you can remember that they have them. And then they'll spend 1 more of their mixed money on recruiting. And they also, just for the sake of argument, will get Italian infantry. I'll mark them red so remember that they're mercenaries. And now Sforzas have 6 strength points with their condottieri in 1. Done and dusted. That's all they want to spend. They're going to hold back 1 mixed to add somewhere else. And that's all the military actions completed. So it's as easy as that. Then you draw another card, and we do a different type of action based on what card we pull up. I probably won't do that one now, but it'll come up soon enough. This one was 11 minutes, so that's about perfect. And yeah, hopefully you're enjoying following along.